when I grew up in Atlanta, my school was like 60-40 black and white. Well, that's another thing. There are no Latinos in Atlanta, bro. I was like one of a kind down there.
Nah, I mean there are. You just gotta like.
Not where I'm
you
from.
gotta
Not where I
sell-
lived.
Gotta look around.
Yeah, so where I would like stay a lot is like when I go to Georgia now is like in the suburbs, and so like you really see them there because they have nothing to do with the city of Atlanta.
Yeah.
So like if you go out to like let's say like Acworth or like Kennesaw, like you'll see.
Oh,
a
but
lot
that's
of-
not even Atlanta, bro.
Yeah.
That's
That's-
far.
Bro, that's like 20 minutes away, bro. But the thing is about Georgia, bro. The way like that city is built, that state is built, is so weird.
Yeah.
That like that 20-minute drive is just like miles and miles.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, when you go, because Kennesaw is like to the northwest of Atlanta.
bro. It's,
Right.
it's like it's 20 minutes.
It's 20 minutes away,
bro.
but it's a completely different world.
It's a
Completely different world. Like you go out there and you're like, damn.
That's how Dallas is.
Really?
bro, it's
Yeah,
like-
like
Yeah.
Dallas, you got the city. You drive up north 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's all the
Yeah.
nice neighborhoods. You drive down south 20 minutes. It's all the rough neighborhoods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You drive down. You know what I mean? You got a little bit of country. You know, you drive about an hour outside of Dallas. You got a little bit of country. So like it's so. And then you got Asian neighborhoods, Hispanic neighborhoods.
Oh yeah. It's like Chicago. Atlanta's not
Yeah,
like that.
Georgia, bro. Like after an hour and a half of driving, bro, you're gonna start encountering people with white robes on and stuff. So you want to go too far.
No, he true. That's true. That's true. You go to like
Find that in
South Georgia.
Texas, too. I personally really didn't encounter much racism because I didn't really go too far outside of Dallas. But still.
No, I feel that though, because like there's parts of, like you go down to like Macon, Georgia.
Yeah, or like Savannah, bro. Savannah's horrible, bro.
Yeah.
Even though there's a lot of black people that live in Savannah, Savannah like is one of the most racist places I've been in my life.
Yeah, you go to like middle Georgia, that's where stuff's like, whoa. Like I've been when I used to like go on spring break in Florida, when I lived in Georgia, like we would drive because it's like 5 hours. And you know, we'd stop in like South Georgia and you got people looking at you and you're like, bro, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Because they just be staring at you and you're just like, damn.
Boy,
Like some old ass dude's just like,
ain't nothing. You don't see a car in sight. It's just pickup trucks.
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, especially when you're like doing road trips.
Yeah, I can't. I
When
can't
you're-
even say that.
Don't get me
bro.
wrong,
When
the
I think
food
of
is
trucks,
amazing,
Oh yeah.
but you stopping at a gas station and the gas station attendant looking at you and staring
Bro,
or
and the
staring
thing
as
is,
you walk to the bathroom, just
The
staring
gas
at you.
stations here, like in Illinois and like in the Chicago land, bro, are nothing like the gas stations down there, bro. They sell you weapons in the gas stations down there.
Oh yeah, you could buy a gun at gas. It's legal to buy a gun in gas stations in Georgia.
Bro, Texas. I don't know if it's in no gas stations, but in Texas, like the gun laws are a lot more loose. Like you can
Yeah.
buy a gun at 18. You can open carry. You can
Oh,
have
yeah,
a
it's open
shotgun
carry
to your
state.
chest
Yep.
walking around.
I don't know if Georgia can still do that.
Nah, yeah, you can.
You can. Okay, maybe it's just not city of Atlanta, but nobody listens to that
Yeah.
in Atlanta. People just open carry like they don't care. But yeah, but it's like a different world down there, dude. Like it's all the way down there. And I mean it's still the U.S., but it's just a different lifestyle too.
Yeah.
Like where I grew up in Atlanta, you go about like 10 minutes south, and then you're like actually like 20 minutes. You're actually like in Atlanta. Because I grew up in like North Fulton, around that area, like North Fulton, like border Fulton and Cobb County. And you drive like a little bit south, and it's just like that's like actually Atlanta, and you can still see like the history of redlining and of segregation in the different neighborhoods. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
my school, the schools that I went to were built in the 80s, right? They were the first wave of schools to be built in Atlanta that were meant to be mixed, like black and white in the school. You know what I mean? And like you go to like the older schools, especially like towards the city, and you can tell like, okay, this school was placed here because this is gonna be a white school or this is gonna be a black school. You know what I mean? There's not really any in between until you get to like schools that are built like in the 80s, which is really fucking new when you think about it. That's like 40 years ago. You know what I mean? That's like 40 years ago. But I mean, I know it takes a long time to build schools, but like University of Georgia didn't even have same with Alabama, they didn't even have black players till like the 1970s. Which was wild. And the reason why they got black players is because they went to go play USC. Or I know the story about Alabama. I don't know the story about Georgia. But Alabama went to go play USC in a game. And USC had black players. And Alabama got their asses kicked like 50-0. So like, okay, we need to bring in some black players.
Yes.
Yeah.
We gotta change it up a little bit.
Exactly.
Around here.
Because because like Bubba and Joe were getting beat up by the black dudes from USC, and it's like
Yeah.
Dante and
by Dante and Jaquarion from USC.
Yeah, redlining is real, bro, and it's still even today. Like, I've went to schools just because I've lived in a nicer or a worse neighborhood. I've lived in a nicer neighborhood. I went to schools all the way across town where
Yeah.
majority white students are at to avoid the rougher schools.
Yeah.
And it's just the redlining. But the trailer park right next to my crib, they go to the rougher school, and I'm literally closer to the rougher school, but I go all the way across town, double the time to go to the other school
Yeah.
because of redlining.
Yeah,
practices.
bro. Like, I moved. My sorry to cut you off. I moved to Elmhurst a few years ago, bro. And not to spit bad on the school, but York High School is known for being one of the most racist schools in like Chicagoland, bro. And it's just like my parents would not let me go there because of that, and so I had to drive to the city of Chicago next to the fucking lake every day. That's an hour drive.
What school was it?
What?
The one that you went to?
Lincoln Park.
Oh, that's right. You did go to Lincoln
I
Park.
went to LP, but I was gonna transfer to York because I lived down the street. I can look at my window at York.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that's how Georgia was like that too. When you talk about the redlining, and you can still see it. I mean, it's still like living history. I mean, now, from what I've heard from my buddies who still live there, like it's definitely changed. Because back when I was growing up, in like the 2000s, when I was in Georgia, like 2010s, like early 2010s, like there was still a pretty clear divide that you could see. You know what I mean? You could still see, okay, this is this kind of people neighborhood, this is that kind of people neighborhood. But now, from what I've heard, like that's changed. It ain't really like that anymore. Like there's still evidence of it. You know what I mean? Because people like still, like families, like generations still live in the same area. But it's more diverse. It's more like Chicago, if you know what I mean. It's not like it ain't like how it used to be, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. There's progress going on, but it's more like Chicago, where it's just like mixed. You know what I mean? Everything's just like you still have like your ethnic neighborhoods, but and like your neighbors that like generations run deep, but it's not like that like everywhere anymore. You know what I mean? And like I said, like my school was basically like 50% white, 50% black. Maybe a little bit more black, a little bit more white, depending on like who came into the school from like grades and who graduated. And I had friends who went to basically damn near all white schools, and I had friends who went to damn near all black schools. And they would tell me the stories, and I'm like, dude, it's not like that here. Like, they would tell me the shit that went on in the black schools and the white schools, and I'm just like, shit, like, that kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get like as much experience. You know what I mean? Being around a bunch of different people and being around different vibes of people. You know what I mean? You're kind of, when you go to a school like that, you're kind of forced into a category. You're kind of pushed into like something that society wants you to be.
Your culture.
Yeah.
Like, you're pushed into a culture, even if you don't want to do it. Even if you don't want to take part in it, you're just pushed into it because that's how society's going to view you. Because people are going to ask, where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to school? And they're going to automatically form an identity of you. They could know nothing about you. You know what I mean? You could be this dude that went to a great school, but you could be a serial killer. You could be a dude that went to a horrible school, and you could be a CEO.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But they're automatically going to form an identity of you in your head. And they're automatically going to assume shit about you, and that's when stuff kind of goes downhill. You know what I mean? That's why, like in Atlanta, that would happen all the time. And I saw it happen to my friends in real time. They'd be talking, talking to somebody. Like I remember we were at a restaurant in Atlanta. I forgot what it was called, but it was in a place called Buckhead in Atlanta. Which, if you guys don't know, do you know Buckhead?
It's dangerous.
Huh?
It's dangerous.
Yeah. So, there's parts of Buckhead that are dangerous, but we were in like north of that area, and that's like a kind of like an office district. You know what I mean? Like that's like uptown Atlanta. And we were at a restaurant, and we were just talking with the guy, that was gonna make us our food that we were ordering from, and one of my buddies, I can drop his name. His name's Kamai. So my friend Kamai, he goes up to order, and he was wearing a shirt from the school that he went to, right? And the guy asked him, he's like, "Did you go here?" And he was like, "Yeah, I went to this school." And then he's like, the whole demeanor just changed. Like the guy working at the register, and I was like I talked to him. I was like, bro, why was he like being weird with you? He's like, it's because like where I went to school. Like it's a nice area, but it's just got a reputation. You know what I mean? It's because just where he went to school. And I was like, damn, like people still like that. Like that shit's crazy, and it's all because of where he went to school too. It's like I don't know. It's just wild. Like there's a lot of underlying shit that still goes on. You know what I mean? A lot of like behind the scenes shit, in the shadow shit that still goes on. So